Remember the video that I did on Kanye? I said that he had adopted like black Hebrew Israelite talking points. That is to say, like, it's a very extreme political like cult basically that thinks that black people were the actual tribes of Israel and that people who call themselves Jews today are like pretenders who are usurping that title as part of a war against black people. It's basically like JQ stuff, except, well, it is JQ stuff. It's just from a black perspective. This got deleted from his interview with Tucker Carlson.
Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger, a known eugenics with the KKK to control the Jew population. When I say Jew, I mean the 12 lost tribes of Judah, the blood of Christ, who the people known as the race black really are. This is who our people are.
So yeah, I was right on the money with that one. It's actually kind of wild because normally when you accuse somebody of belonging to an extremist political cult, they're not that straightforward about it. I guess Kanye's too like mentally ill to dog whistle, or like maybe he doesn't even know that what he's saying is absolutely insane. Um, but like this would be like me calling somebody a fascist for saying kind of like fascist stuff, and then they go on TV and they're like, okay, so I believe in the union of corporate and state power as part of a sort of state supremacist effort to suppress the population's democratic abilities and instill. It's like, oh, okay, well, thanks for reading off the dictionary definition. You know, it's like, okay, all right, fantastic. My personal guess is that Kanye is so mentally ill that he doesn't actually realize that what he's saying is batshit. That would be my guess. I guess I don't really like sense much. I sound like such a nerd saying this. I don't sense much like deception from him, if that makes any sense. Like the way he's expressing these positions, it doesn't come across as some kind of like planned political effort. It's just an authentic expression of his brain damage. Any idea why they cut it bad optics? Oh yeah. You know, the Yeezy's anti-Semitism and general fascist tendencies might be like useful idiot tier stuff for the Republican Party, but the Black Hebrew Israelite stuff is a step beyond and a little bit politically divergent. So they're not gonna roll there. No, yeah, it is Shu. I mean, the Black Hebrew Israelite thing has always had an unfortunately strong presence in like radical black political communities. It's just kind of, just kind of a little unfortunate that one of the most popular black people on earth is just sitting there next to a fascist, openly being like, "Yeah, I'm like a black Nazi. I'm a Blotzi. I'm Blitler. I'm Blitler, basically. Yeah, basically." So very unfortunate. That's sort of where we're at right now. But yeah. We've talked about this before, right? Luis Farrakhan. He's the poster child right now for the sort of modern black Hebrew Israelite tendency. I've said this before, but like the Nation of Islam is kind of complicated because I feel like association with Nation of Islam kind of like rapidly oscillates in between the black Hebrew Israelite tendencies of where the real Jews and the people who say they're Jews are pretenders who are trying to destroy us, and more traditional like far right Nazi stuff where they don't think they're Jews but they still hate the Jews. It gets complicated. Man, because Luis Farrakhan is just flatly like pro Hitler. It gets so much worse. Kanye said so much more. It's bonkers. How much didn't get said? Motherboard obtained footage of Yi making bigoted statements about Jewish people and bizarre claims of fake children, as well as describing visions of kinetic energy cities sent to him by God. Man. I saw somebody say this on social media, and it feels very correct to me. Isn't it kind of wild that Britney Spears languished under a conservatorship for so many years, but like Kanye just gets to walk around and be like this. Now, I don't think you should like sort of detain people on their mental health like broadly, but there is kind of an interesting set of expectations differing there. Vosh, Nick Cannon, Ice Cube, and quite a few NBA players agree with Farrakhan. How does shit like this get so popular? I'll tell you. The Nation of Islam, the Blitler tendency, and also the Black Hebrew Israelite tendencies are a lot like Scientology, where their respective cults and communities will deliberately seek out prominent celebrities who are not mentally well and will try to pull them into their cult as a way of doing like publicity work for them. So the cult of Scientology does this exact same thing. They make a deliberate effort at trying to get like unwell celebrities as a way of kind of forwarding their position. You know, they cultivate their ideology and it, like, and the way they promote it individually to these people. They essentially treat their ideology the way that like a broker or a you know, an investor might try to like pitch something. You know, like they try to get powerful people on board as a way of showcasing confidence in a project or ideology. And the same, you know, the same is the case here. So I suspect that sort of seeing the brain damage, you know, at some point Yi has been kind of groomed into some of these positions. Not that that exonerates him, obviously, right? Like basically all people part of a far right ideology have been groomed into it to some extent or another. So you know, that doesn't exonerate somebody. Yeah, they can sell in a lot of different ways. Kanye started going down the Black Hebrew Israelite rabbit hole during his trip to Uganda with Trump, according to Hassan. Seems to be coordinated by Big Sean. Who the fuck is Big Sean? Um, we should reach out to mentally ill celebrities with socialism. Sorry, mentally ill celebrities still tend to be pretty like megalomaniacal, self-obsessed pieces of shit who value their wealth above everything else. Unfortunately, socialism just doesn't sell that well to these people. Fox News, Motherboard obtained portions of the interview that were edited out.
You know, every day we've been killing each other in the streets every day. One of the amazing things with Mayor Suarez is the murder rate has gone down. And yeah, I mean, you set that question up. You have more information about about what happened in the hospitals. So, in all honesty, I don't have the most facts, as many facts.
No, I mean in your life, like
so I might have
the
deflected.
COVID vaccine, the being stuck inside. Like, what did you think of all that?
I was vaccinated. It was interesting. A friend of mine told me that.
Man, have I not heard him speak in a long time or something? He sounds so different. Okay, crucify me if you will. I swear to God, when I heard him in this interview, my first thought was like, didn't he sound more black before? He sounds like a soft boy here. Has been domesticated, yeah. Crucify me if you will. Like they did Christ, who was of course black. One of the yeah, Planned Parenthood.
Exactly what our culture is based on. Think about us judging each other on how white we could talk would be like, you know, a Jewish person judging another Jewish person on how good they danced or something. I mean, that's probably like a bad example. People are going to get mad at that shit. But another thing that they do that I probably want to edit that out in front of that like that. Okay, so, you know, I was talking to Ice Cube today, and we got really beat up in 2020 for saying we need to approach things a different way and not just be trauma drunk.
Right.
Which is a term that, you know, God just hit me with in the past couple of days. We are no longer trauma drunk. We are no longer trauma drunk, and we're no longer trauma bonding, and we're no longer woke in the sense of what woke is, because woke is just complaining about racism, but not doing anything about it.
Wait, what happens when you do? Wait, it becomes unwoke when you do something about it.
So what we're gonna do about it is say, hey, you know what? Y'all not gonna send nobody at me based on my opinion. You asked the question before. It drove me crazy to not be able to say that I like Trump.
This has the energy of a future mass shooters manifesto. Yeah, I mean, it is completely incoherent. Yeah. Does anyone else get like I'm feeling it's like that one Spanish king or whatever. You remember back like to the Middle Ages, and it's like, well, society is actually controlled by one highly inbred 17-year-old and his legion of like incestuous rapist aristocrats, and they're just in charge and they're very wealthy, and that's it. Like that's just what life is. And now I'm looking at this deeply mentally ill guy, and it's just like, wow, this guy's brain is like soup, and he's going to move millions of people over. Like nothing has changed at all, you know? Like we just have to sit here and watch as ultra powerful mentally ill people just sort of grab society by the horns and rein it towards the worst possible timeline while all we can do is just sort of watch. And it's like, well, okay, you know, the class relations have been abstracted through time and bureaucracy, but functionally, you know, it's the same thing. We're still here. So wait, when he said DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, he meant on black people? No, if he says something good about Jewish people, he means black people, and if he says something bad about Jewish people, he means actual Jewish people.
I was biting my tongue on my political opinion because I thought it would be better for my children. And now you look up and my kids are going to a school that teaches black kids a complicated Kwanzaa. I prefer my kids knew Hanukkah than Kwanzaa. At least it will come with some financial engineering.
Okay.
Kwanzaa doesn't, you know, so they don't teach even Christmas itself, Christ Mass.
You know that after this interview, Tucker like wandered back behind the stage to the editors and the director, and he was like, editors are gonna have a field day with this one, huh? We're we're gonna have to cut between us quite a bit to hide the yeah. Are we airing any of that? Is any of that fine? Is any of that okay? Oh my god.
At the end of the day,
7 minutes?
we all know we have to answer to God. Now, some of us in desperate times may grab a little bit too much of the Hennessy. I'll be specific. Arno, shout out. Thank you for making the Hennessy. It's delicious. That's an LVMH company. I'm kind of very much so in beefing with them right now because they killed my best friend, Virgil.
How did they kill Virgil?
First of all, they hired him. Well,
yeah, Virgil, Texas. We're finally finding out what happened to him.
I'm gonna try to like give you the abbreviated story.
Yeah.
Okay, so Virgil was hired as my assistant,
Oh.
and he ended up becoming one of my best friends because we traveled everywhere. We traveled to Japan, we interned in Italy at Fendi because we weren't accepted in Paris, and we started to gain momentum in the design world. And then Virgil did his own line called Off-White, and then I stopped doing the Kanye West line. I started doing the Yeezy line, and I did a license.
How fucking funny would a fashion line called Off-White be if both of the people who led the line were white? Like you'd go to the website and it's two white guys back to back like this, and they're both like they're both like pale as snow, and it's just called Off-White, and no context is given. That'd be fucking funny. That'd be really good. Yeah, both redheads.
Deal. I had a licensing deal with Adidas. I mean, we still have that deal.
Yeezy shit is hideous. Where's that donkey video, man? Designing merch for Kanye West.
Oh my god, it's finally here. The new Yeezus merch is here. Boys, let's get ready for the new album, Jesus is King, which is also an IMAX movie. This shit is so stretched out. It's so stretched out tall. What is it? Fucking Jesus in the back. Oh! The powerful Jesus. Oh my god, raining down lightning on all who have sinned. That's why I gotta pay the money that I looking. Just beautiful. Now we're gonna put on the outer stroke. And then put a gigantic Jesus stretching way beyond the boundaries of the hood. This is a velociraptor. This is for the shadow Jesus.
Sorry.
And we did this fashion show that was it was like the most seen fashion show in history. So Bernardo, the head of LVMH, asked to
Okay, last one. Sorry. Okay. These two, the Voros twins, they're the ones with the off-white brand. Okay, these two.
Who painted the Mona Lisa? Mona Lisa. Oh, yeah. Da Vinci?
These two. They have the off-white clothing brand, and all their clothing is just black.
With me, and he offered me a deal, but with the deal they had to have ownership because they're colonizers. They're not there to just, hey, we're going to give you support and you do the best thing you can. All these people, a lot of the VCs and a lot of these kind of companies, they have to have ownership. And Louis Vuitton have presented themselves in such a way to have so.
Kanye's literally said he uses the homeless inspiration. Yeah, you can tell okay, Kanye's been a piece of shit literally always. I don't know why, like, no one doubts that, right? This isn't just a new thing. He's always been a self-absorbed piece of shit. But his clothing lines have always just been like, pay $8,000 to look poor. And I've always thought that's really tasteless, but like he's one of the biggest examples of that. Like whatever his talent might be for like music mixing or whatever. Like the like here's a gray sweatshirt, $5 trillion. It's it's like what people make fun of when they think of celebrity fashion.
So much real estate where a black man's dream come true would be to have that level of support from a company, because then we can go back into the neighborhood in our pink Cadillac, metaphorically.
Yeah.
The pink Cadillac was literally invented for that. Google that. I don't feel we don't have enough time to talk about it right here. The Cadillac, that specifically color pink, is just like so. All of my design team wanted to work with Louis Vuitton. So Bernard.
Right, we're cutting this one up like crazy. Okay, wait. Apparently, he's been saying this for a while. Judah's rising. Kanye West says black people are Hebrew Israelites. Well, that's pretty straightforward.
An hour, I'm like, I'll take a little bit more here, do this here, blah, blah. And after this, it took all the life out of it.
See, he doesn't sound the same at all. Wait, who in chat got mad at me? This is just from less than a year ago. He doesn't sound even a little bit the same.
No, shook my hand, said we're going to do the Kanye West deal at Louis Vuitton. And I was actually this man as a black barber, as a African-American, as a blood of Christ, as a Hebrew, it's
just code switching? Okay, has Kanye ever code switched into white speak when talking to the media before? That's because every time I've ever seen him talking, I could be totally wrong. I feel like I've never heard him talk like this before. And I don't pay much attention to like celebrity shit or whatever. But everybody's heard Kanye talk a decent number of times because it's Kanye, right? I don't know. Yeah, he didn't code switch when he talked to Trump. Yeah, okay, whatever.
Telling y'all what it is, right?
Wait, did he? Oh God, I'm getting gaslit over here.
Come on, with the hat on, because why would you keep something around?
Yeah. Okay, anyone in chat who's like, this is just regular Kanye code switching. He's always been like, shut the fuck up, okay? Yeah, he's talking like this because he knows that Trump's a fellow brother. All right, what's this clip?
Mom was born into a drinking fountain. They told her what fountain she could drink out of.
Okay.
Now we born into a vote. They literally call it the black vote.
Yeah.
And by the way, we blood of Christ. We blood of Moses.
Right.
We're not just a color in a crayon box. And if we knew that, who we really were, we'd treat each other differently. We'd treat ourselves differently. So when you say, I'm black and I'm proud, like, but of what? What concept are we understanding? They say, go see the African History Museum. Why do they start when the boats came? Why don't they start with the drums?
When we was kings.
Oh, they don't want it, but we are kings. Mm-hmm. But the 400 years doesn't have to deal with slavery. It has to deal with the Bible. It has to deal with us being disobedient to God.
Right.
And that's why we farm land that isn't our own.
What?
Record labels, the NBA, Hollywood.
He did the meme. Yeah, he literally did the We Was Kings meme. Yeah, it's great.
These boys be scared. They be sitting there. Michael B. Jordan be telling my cousin, like, man, I want to do what Ye do, but I'm just, I'm right here. Or, like Kevin Hart, like, man, I like that. I'm envious of what Dave Chappelle could do. And then they sitting it at us. Me to him. Say this. Tech, blah, blah. He said this. He said that. It's like, boy, this.
1 year later.
I'm actually going to give him the lion's share, which thank God I didn't. 3 months later, they dropped the deal at the
I can't believe white people fucking colonize his vocal cords. Holy shit.
There will be blood. It has to be some type of respect, a male perspective, a God perspective, and some type of community leadership. And I'm the leader. And that's what I told
Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, I told Lauryn, I told everybody. I'm the leader. Let's look at it. Let's open up this Bible. You know, your grandmother, like, you need Jesus.
Yeah, you need Jesus.
That's what you need. Yeah.
My favorite song, by the way.
Because praise God. Because all of this that we doing, it ain't adding up to nothing. Now God is pointing at me and said, this man worth $9 billion.
Jesus!
This man, and that's pretty good for a black man. Since I was like, oh, the black. First of all, I said that before. We got to take the black version off of it. Because I'm running circles around, you know, all the other. You know what we're gonna do?
Guys.
Yeah,
all
you know,
others.
no, that black or white. But what we're gonna do?
Yeah, Jesus would have loved the $9 billion net value. It's always been kind of funny to me how black Hebrew Israelites say that they're real Jews while not practicing Judaism, and they also say they were of the blood of Christ. But Jews don't care about Jesus anywhere near as much as Christians do, right? Like, don't Jews just think of Jesus as like a go-getter prophet? Like, they don't think he's the son of God. That's a Christian prophet, not a... The Muslims believe that Jesus was a prophet, but not the son of God. The Christians believe that Jesus is the son of God, and also God. It's complicated. But I don't think Jews care at all. I don't even know if they think he's a prophet. I think some Jews just think Jesus was like just a wacky guy. Just a wacky dude, you know? I think it varies. So, interestingly, the black Hebrew Israelite is black and Jewish, but doesn't practice Judaism, and has the same social priorities as a Christian, despite not being... Yeah, it's completely incoherent. I don't know. I mean, whatever. It's like mental illness, the religion. I don't know.
Moses, in order for Moses to be Moses.
Yeah, while being in the Nation of Islam. Yeah, because there are people like that in the Nation of Islam. They're black Jews who take credit for Egypt and the pharaohs. So I guess they were both the Jews and the pagans in Egypt. And but they worship Christ, even though they're not Christian, but Christians worship Christ, but they're a Nation of Islam.
He had the ability to be able to take down anybody else. That's my thing. If I'm a rap on a song, if I'm gonna do a beat, if we talk about money, whatever we talking about, I'm gonna be the Moses of the situation, because that's what God anointed me, that skill set to be able to.
Yeah, because if you're of the 12 tribes of Judah, if you're of Moses, but you're also the kings of Egypt, that would mean you're both. That would mean you're, well, I guess that's why they believe in Yaqub, right? Like, ancient Egypt would have just been black pharaohs oppressing black Hebrew Israelites, and then like somewhere in like an obelisk or something, Yaqub is pouring like beakers together to create whitey, and then and everything went wrong.
To do that, you know what I'm saying? In hospitals today, they would tell a black mother that the baby not finna come out today, because we are inside. Us as 12 tribes of Judah, as a member of the Hebrew people, we are still inside of our genocide. 50% of all black deaths a year is abortion. And
Black deaths?
Black deaths a year is abortion.
Wow.
And
This is a really common black Hebrew Israelite talking point as well, because they're conservative, so they're like, abortion is murder, and they think, like he said, they think that abortion has been like pushed by Jews to lower the black birth rate.
And Plan B was created by Margaret Sanger with the KKK for black population control.
Wow.
That's not true. Wasn't Margaret Sanger the Planned Parenthood person? Yeah, Margaret Sanger was the Planned Parenthood creator. She was a eugenicist, though, to be fair, basically everyone at like the early 20th century was, but you know, whatever. Anyway, it's not good. But so yeah, but Plan B was a later thing. Plan B was 1977. That was 11 years after she died. Oh, whatever.
You're getting deep right now, yeah.
This is what
Oh no, it was approved by the FDA in 1999. 120 years after the birth of Margaret Sanger.
Cried about during the election. Those tears is gonna be gospel someday. And what am I doing? I know the guy from Texas got a lot of backlash for changing the laws. I'm not in a position, that's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is providing a plan A, an opportunity where you can bring your children, if you feel like you can't take care of them, you ain't got a place to take them, you don't have a support system, we got a place that's gonna have. I'm like, you thought that I wasn't gonna try to get killed in this interview?
Oh yeah, I saw this. The original Japanese who were black were invaded, infected with disease, and murdered by lighter Europeans who now pose Japanese. This is like the ultimate, the we was Kangs, like, line, where it's like, actually everyone everywhere was black. But then, like, Yakub created white people, and white people f***ed over everything everywhere. Which, to be fair, we did, but the Japanese weren't black, you know? Yeah, sucked up the melanin. Of course, everyone knows the story of, it's Yasuke, right? The Black Samurai? Yeah. The coolest guy. They made a fucking anime about Yasuke, and it sucked, because they were like, okay, it didn't, like, suck, but they could have done a lot better, in my opinion. I mean, they made Yasuke really cool in the anime Yasuke. I mean, he's super hot. I didn't want the magic stuff. They put mechas in it. Yeah, they just went over. They were just like, what if we make this the most anime? Whatever. They did it better. Afro Samurai. Well, everyone knows Afro Samurai. Everyone knows Afro Samurai is good. Yeah. They had robots in the Yasuke anime. Whatever. Real guy though. Was a slave. Did the samurai things. Super cool. I think this is an actual photo. Yeah. Though he wasn't born in Japan. He was, you know, it's brought there, I think, by merchants and stayed there. Yeah, look at the child with the goddamn samurai haircut. They trace the razor to like imitate a bald head. It's so stupid. I can't believe goofy ass. It looks fine when you're old. I don't know why you're doing this to goddamn babies. That kid's cold as fuck. That kid's ready to commit seppuku if he dishonors his family, for sure, yeah. What are we doing? Oh yeah, hold on. It was a caste demarcation? Yeah, and I was saying it's dumb, but whatever. At least they had dope hats.
Board. The next collection.
Oh wait, didn't I just closed? Oh god damn it! Here, I just closed the damn thing we were watching.
Side us as 12 tribes of Judah, as a member of the Hebrew people, we are still inside of our genocide. We got a place that's gonna have. I'm like, you thought that I wasn't gonna try to get killed in this interview? Dr. Sebi's diet, based off Dr. Sebi's diet, saving not only black children, but all God's children, given an opportunity of a utopia. Because the reason why we didn't get our 40 acres and a mule is we have 40 acres, we have more people. We have more people and we have leadership. With the leaders not strategically taken out of the community in the 80s and the drugs and guns put into it. And then the algorithm, you know what I'm saying? The 808 exists in the lowest chakra of your body. The majority of content that's related to the 808 is killer or sexual content. The original 808s was even off pitch. So that meant it's an actual sound in the track that you don't realize is there. That is fucking.
You know what? I fucking blame everyone around Yi for never interrupting him and going like, "What the f are you talking about? You sound insane." Did Kim ever do that? Has anyone ever just been like, "Kanye, shut the fuck up. You sound insane." Did anyone ever do that, or did they just not do that once you're worth more than $1 billion?
Up your entire frequency. And now, today, every time I hear a car come out, it's 808. But if you think about African music and hip hop and what we was breakdance to, it was light.
The percussion.
It was upbeat. It was the drums. Now it's like, and all of this is a bigger, and it's like, man, you know, at this point, it's like they should.
Hip hop and African music are upbeat, comma, the drums? What?
They killed me when I said George Bush don't care about black people. I ain't got nothing to say. You know, they SNL making my wife say I divorced him on TV because they just wanted to get that bar off, and I ain't never even seen the papers. We not even divorced.
Wow.
So how we? Because that ain't no joke to me. My kids want their parents to stay together. I want I want us to be together. But
I want y'all to be together.
I agree, Dusty Poncho. I don't think he just has bipolar. Bipolar can like manic episodes are one thing, but I think he's schizo as well. Or sorry, that's not the PC term. I think he has like a neurological or like it's beyond just manic episodes. I think that there's like an act like there's a I think he's fucking nanners in addition to being bipolar.
If you look at the media, that's not what they promoting. That's not what they want. They want it to be a new wedding, a new episode, a new TV show. And then they have people all around in my wife's ear, like a kibbutz. We need Christian kibbutz. We can have communities.
Do we?
Be as close.
Kibbutz?
Kibbutz, like Jewish people have this type of circular community.
Like a community center?
No, it's like where they live and where we need to live, where the grandparents can take care of the kids. It's better to have a grandparent taking care of the kids than a nanny taking kids hired love.
Right. Right.
You get what I'm saying? That we move as a community. And as a community, we
I don't disagree with what he's saying here. Just
will not fail. There's communities that didn't go into slavery, like I think it's in Masada.
what?
Jacob.
What? Hebrew Israelite. This podcast's apparently for it. They made us believe this man was crazy. Meanwhile, he spoke nothing but truths. The Father is awakening his people up. Praise God. We are the real Hebrew Israelites. I wish everyone would speak truth instead of what everyone wants to hear. Thanks, Kanye 100. I knew something was on his mind when he said slavery was a choice. I wasn't even mad at him. If the ancestors knew beforehand the consequence of disobedience, then why be mad at Kanye waking on up? All right, I'm calling out black people. It's finally time. My brothers and sisters, you have to call this shit out. You gotta. I'm sorry. White people can't do it. There's no fucking way white people have the balls to step to shit like this. I'll do it. I'll talk to a black Hebrew Israelite and say some nasty shit to them, okay? Most white people can't because they're weak and I'm strong, okay? You guys gotta pick up the slack and you gotta fucking... You gotta socially ostracize this shit, okay? Alright? I've been to black community events, alright? I see the Hotep shit, alright? We wouldn't let Nazi shit at, like, regular-ass fucking Irish pride festivals or whatever. Or if we did, we'd have an obligation to call that shit out too, okay? I know this shit is rampant in black spaces. Like, it's all over the place. In black Twitter or black community spaces. Yeah, it's all over the goddamn place. You gotta step up, okay? Let's see what manner of Hebrew Israelite he truly is. Lest we forget, Yosef was still in position of power in Egypt, putting his people on and leading from that position. He wasn't recorded as keeping the commands, but he saved your people. Let Yah work through Kanye, and whatever Kanye decides, he knows the price for selling out or going all in. Shalom. Maybe he knew to the truth. Give the brother time to grow and pray for him. Dang, some of y'all don't even give people time to grow. Is he supposed to get the truth and then wake up the next morning with fringes and a beard to his knees? Don't be a Pharisee. How are you going to call... Wait. Aren't you the Pharisee? How are you going to call other people... No, because they would have thought the Pharisees were like usurper Jews. Okay. This shit is so funny, I can't take it serious. Yeah, it is funny, but like... These guys are like Nazis. They are. Like, this weird occultism is all like political theater that underlies extreme ethnic supremacism and anti-Semitism. Those are the two actual ideologies here. It's black supremacism and anti-Semitism. Those are the two actual, like, explicit political positions here. It's just being channeled through, like, hyper-religious zealotry. It's... okay. Let's continue. All right, we're going back to Wanye.
I do. Season 2, we don't have anyone to support it because I had to have Adidas indemnify the collection. The third collection, we're there. Virgil's working with me. He's got his line, but he's my main employee, and he's running the Donda design group, and he's bringing in Heron Preston, and Matt Williams is working with me, and we have our crew. And we do this show at MSG, and it's like a big hit. Season 4, I did a show, and it started late, and I was really depressed about that. Then a week later, Kim got robbed in Paris. Then I just tell Scooter, after I finished this, like, Scooter Braun was my manager at that time, I said, after I finish this leg of the tour, I need to just take a rest. I need to go to Japan. I love it in Japan. And Scooter's like, no, you have to do more touring. And 4 days in.
Sorry, somebody linked the ADL article on extremist factions within the Hebrew Israelite community. On like the way the cults are structured and stuff like that. Israel United in Christ. Founded in 2003 in New York, of course, a splinter org of the Israel School of Universal Practical Knowledge, founder Nathaniel Ray, aka Bishop Nathaniel Ben Israel, one-time member for the One West Camp, 71 U.S. locations, 20 foreign locations. In their own words, an organized nation uniting our people, destroyed from colonialism and slavery. Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the children of Israel. We made God angry and he put us into slavery. It's time to come back to God. In a recorded sermon on January 21st, 2020, Bishop Nathaniel and other leadership referred to Jews as the devil that the Bible even speaks of, the so-called Jews, the house of demons, and specifically call Hasidic Jews evil despots. During the same sermon, another leader disparages Jews by stating, they lie in their media, they lie in their synagogues, they lie all over the place, everything they do is about lying. In October 2020, the main Facebook account of the IUIC posted, Black people have been experiencing a Holocaust since the 1400s, and the hashtag Jewish man has perpetuated the situation. Organized a march attended by over 1,000 people, the Israelite School of Practical Knowledge, which has 2 Jewish stars and 2 swords crossed. What the f*** is this logo? This is the busiest thing I've ever seen before in my fucking life. Oh my god. True Holocaust. Israelite Church of God and Jesus Christ. Listen, the Israelite Church of God and Jesus Christ, it's totally incoherent. Examples of anti-Semitism. Can Caucasians be Jews according to the Bible? No. Are the so-called Negroes in America Africans? No. They are the real Hebrew Israelites Jews. The Jewish people are imposters. The suffix ish equals 1 pertaining to 2 as or like, example as a Jew or like a Jew, but not a Jew. They're all deeply mentally ill. This is deep, high-level mental illness. I feel like all this is just blasphemy. No, what this is black neighborhoods having lead paint longer than white neighborhoods, okay? This is white people's fault. We redlined. We didn't do the proper infrastructural updates. Then a bunch of black kids in the 50s licked paint, and now this is what we get. Apparently they tried to recruit Liberian warlords. Oh, hell yeah, dude. This is me. I'm always like this. Israel United in Christ attempts to recruit former cannibal and leader of a Liberian child army. That's so me. Hashtag me AF. What am I supposed to say here? Guys, Ye is like one of the most famous black people in American history. He fully believes this shit now. He's just going to spend the rest of his life propagating these talking points. People are going to denounce him and everything, but in like 2 years, he's going to drop another album and everyone's going to be talking about him again. It's going to be like, man, maybe through Christ, Hebrew, Israel, Jesus compels him. And then a bunch of people are going to say, God damn it! Take this shit seriously. I got to disable that function on my computer. Keep forgetting to. Not enough people. Honestly, the blowback's been disproportionately small. Yeah, it's been disproportionately small because nobody takes it seriously. Nobody takes the Black Hebrew Israelite stuff seriously. It's just like roundabout Nazism for black people. It's not Kendrick Lamar's Ties, the BHI group that tried to recruit General Butt Naked. I'm telling you, man, they get celebrities. So much of this is going to be through celebrity culture because black people and black leaders are disproportionately represented in celebrity culture because they tend to be excluded disproportionately from political power. So you have like artists and musicians and shit like that, and like a lot of these people are already megalomaniacs because celebritydom breeds megalomania. And then they're going to get approached with this like, hey, actually, you're the descendant of the 12 tribes of Israel. You're the chosen people shit. And they're going to fall for it.
Into that tour, I was exhausted. I screamed from stage. I would have voted for Trump. This stuff. I was like, exhausted from everything at that time. Like the fashion show, my wife getting robbed, all these people telling me I couldn't say anything about Trump. It was just a lot. And I ended up in the hospital, and I wear that badge every conversation I can be.
This is what happens if you rob people of their heritage and culture for 400 years. I respect that perspective, but I disagree. White identitarian movements have been very prominent despite white people having been given every conceivable opportunity to develop and protect their own cultures. I don't think this is like a product of the oppression of black people. I think stuff like this will happen anyway. I just think that like we don't take it seriously because they're not the powerful group. You know what I mean? But people like Kanye are an ally to the people who are in power. He's an ally to the fascists that are in power. You know? It's a product of the undereducated poor people. No, it's not. Nope. Absolutely not. Wealthy and powerful people fall into identitarian movements as well. We just have to accept, like, you can attribute this however you want, but like this shit is a universal human attribute. This like megalomaniacal, our identity is superior, all history justifies us, we are the chosen one shit. Every group does this. The difference is that like in broad white culture, like at least in like urbanite white culture, you know, like in mixed company in most areas, like stuff like that tends to be discouraged, you know? Not to say there aren't white racists, there are plenty. But like if you go to your average public event and there are people over there who are screaming about like the innate supremacy of white people, usually that shit gets shut down. This doesn't get shut down in black communities. White people are terrified of calling it out and usually not even like educated enough to know what it is. And black people either don't take it seriously or think it's harmless or kind of don't really care because they're not in charge right now, so who really gives a but it's a real problem and it should be taken seriously. Black Hebrew Israelites were behind one of the largest surges in anti-Jewish hate crimes in New York City back in 2019. The media basically ignored it. Yeah, no, people just don't care about anti-Semitism when it's done by black people because it complicates the narrative. When white people do anti-Semitism, you've got a clean parallel. They're Nazis, very easy to identify, easy to call out. When black people do anti-Semitism through this, like, actually we're the real Jews shit, the media doesn't have, like, the media doesn't have, like, the media can't rely on there being a popular vernacular for what this is. Everybody knows what it means to say, oh, this person anti-Semitic Nazi beliefs. Like, we all know what that means. It's part of the common cultural vernacular. But this, like, oh, actually, they're black people who think they're the real Jews, but the Jews that we think are Jews are actually fake usurpers, and they basically have Nazi beliefs, but also they're black. There's not a common vernacular for that.
You know, put down for that. So Virgil is going on and, you know, being more and more successful and clicking all the dots, all the boxes that a black designer and black creator should click more than anyone ever. He's basically like Michael Jordan. You know, he is the Michael Jordan of fashion, literally. He's clicking all of these dots and he gets the deal to be the head of men's design at Louis Vuitton, which is, you know, cool. Aside from Hermes, is one of the most prestigious jobs in the world. And he goes in and the product is selling. Virgil was actually the third person to die of cancer in that organization. So not just black men have passed in that organization, but the third person to die of cancer that was in a higher up position in that organization. And with Paris, is a different level of elitism.
I can't follow this lore. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what he's rambling about. His friend, who was a fashion designer, died. We're talking about Virgil, Texas. I don't know what he's going on about.
And racism. And Virgil was the kind of guy that he didn't hold it in. And I believe it ate him up from inside. And
how old was he?
40, early 40s.
You didn't know how old your friend was? Okay.
And people were like, what you mean you're his best friend? You don't know the exact age? But I don't know the date. You know.
He's a young man.
Yeah, well, that is what I said.
He's a young man. So he the level of racism, elitism, and pressure that he was under, I'm sure affected his health. And then at that point, also me and Virgil had a rivalry because he had taken my place in fashion. He now was Drake to the radio of what he was to fashion. And we had a strained relationship also. But the people I've spent the most time with in my life is my mom, second, Kim, third.
I'm sorry, he's literally just rambling. I'm not even going to finish the last 30 seconds here, but I don't want to give anyone watching this the impression that I'm following anything that he's saying. He's just saying disconnected words to me. I'm so sorry. Here's the next clip.
Anymore.
Probably didn't help that I paused 87 times through that one, but to be fair, I don't think anyone would have helped there.
I'll talk to him if I see him.
Yep.
But I guarantee you he see me. And I have visions that God gives me just over and over on community building.
If somebody says this, it's okay to bonk them, by the way. I'm sorry, we can't keep doing this, guys. You can be religious if you want, but if you're about to talk about how God's giving you, I'm sorry. I can't. We can't keep doing this, guys. We can't keep doing this.
And how to build these free energy.
Why do these black Israelites want to be the real Jews? It's the same reason the Nazis talk about like the legacy of the Aryans and like the Nordic folk. You know that like Nazi racial lore involves there being like 12-foot tall like proto-Aryans that they're the descendants of. You need like an origin myth. The fascist needs an origin myth. You need to be like, the fascist requires you to be part of a group that is inherently special, that has special origins, but you are currently being displaced or disempowered by a foe that you must organize against. That is what the fascist requires. And you know, in this case, we've got the 12 tribes of Judah. You know, that's so a cult. Well, this is a cult, yes, but it doesn't have to be a cult. It's just a component of fascist ideology. And Black Hebrew Israelites are overwhelmingly fascist aligned. There's a common tendency. There are a bunch of reasons, a bunch of things that go into it. It's a heavy sort of historical weight.
Fully kinetic energy communities where we impress, we put the least impression on the earth. We're not building the new New York skyline cockfight. That we are humble in the way that we present ourselves. We've got to rethink who we are as a species.
Huh? Is that fucking Weird Al? It's my theme song day to day. The CIA Weird Al song. Well, okay. Yeah, party in the CIA, yeah. Carlson and Fox News spokespeople did not respond to multiple requests for comment. Representatives for Ye and Louis Vuitton also did not respond for comment. Okay, great. Well, that was wacky. He's very mentally ill, but that doesn't exonerate his behavior. What is this? That racist CNN clip is really relevant now? What is this? Why do I not remember this? Kanye West is what happened when N-words don't read.
Among other things. Those are good issues, but let's discuss now with Bakari Solis, Tara Setmeyer, and Scott Jennings. I'm going to let y'all talk tonight because I've already said how I felt about Kanye, so y'all just discuss. No, but seriously, Bakari, do you think Trump is just using Kanye as a prop to win over black voters before the midterms?
I'm not sure he's using him as a prop per se, but what Kanye West has done with Donald Trump is what other people have done who've gravitated in his orbit, which is just shower him with adulation. For what reason, I have no idea. But my issue with Kanye West is quite simple. It's that anti-intellectualism simply isn't cool. And Kanye West, these issues, as you stated, these issues that they're going to talk about are issues that are central issues in many African American communities. They're very important issues. But the fact is, we're not sending Kanye West to the White House to talk about these issues because he can't. He doesn't have the depth to. I want to hear what Kanye West wants to do when we're talking about criminal justice reform or prisoner reentry. The fact is, he cannot. He doesn't have that depth. Just the other day, he was talking about STEM programs and how we needed to have more STEM programs and had to turn around and ask his colleague, what did STEM mean? And so Kanye West is what happens when Negroes don't read. And we have this now, and now Donald Trump
my exact words
is going to use it and pervert it, and he's going to have somebody who can stand with him and take pictures.
Look at how everyone here is laughing except for the white guy who can't laugh. I love racial politics, man. I love it so much. I love how earlier when I said, why the f does Kanye sound so white? All the people in chat who called me out were themselves white, and all the black people watching were like, I know, right? I fucking know it. I fucking know that's what happened. I know how this shit works.
Just looking at Scott's Scott's like, whoa,
See? It's
okay.
Like, yeah. Black Hebrew Israelite wiki page. Church of God and the Saints of Christ synthesize rituals from both Judaism and Christianity. They've adopted rites drawn from both the Old and New Testaments. Its Old Testament observances include the use of the Jewish calendar, the celebration of Passover, the circumcision of infant males, the commemoration of Sabbath and Sunday, and the wearing of yarmulkes. Goddamn right. The group sometimes employs street preaching to promote their ideology. Sidewalk ministers may employ provocation to advance a message that is often anti-Semitic, racist, and xenophobic. This primarily gained notice in the news through their street preaching that purportedly targeted students of Covington Catholic High School in January 2019. One student reported that the Black Hebrew Israelites called students racists, bigots, white crackers, and incest kids, and told an African American student that white classmates would harvest his organs. Fantastic stuff. Least psychotic religious person. I don't even really like thinking of the Black Hebrew Israelites as that religiously oriented. I think it's full on like cult shit, right? I don't know. Because it's like their religion is so internally incoherent that it really feels like just kind of like a mental illness magnet. I don't know. It's a different. I don't know. What's the difference? Institutional legitimacy, maybe. But I do maintain that there's a difference between a religion and a cult. You know, there's a difference in the degree of brain damage that you need to jump into a system, I think, you know? I think there are types of spiritualism that you, even if I disagree with all of it, I think there are types of spiritualism that you can arrive at through understandable processes. I think there are religions that if you sort of grow up around them, being a part of them is not that irrational given the biases that you kind of grow into. But the Black Hebrew Israelite stuff is so jarring and discordant. Yeah, I think it requires a higher tier. Like Scientology, right? Like, Scientology may also have epistemically unjustifiable beliefs like Christianity, but I do think there's a difference between being a Christian and being a Scientologist. The same way I think there's a difference between, like, being a mildly pious Christian and being, like, a Jehovah's Witness, you know? Like, I do think there's meaningful, you know, whatever. Wacky stuff. Wait, BHI is convincing guilty white boy to lick the boot. Oh, is this the, Uhuru? Oh, no, it's not. It's a different group.
Sir, that's all you got for me.
Fuck yeah,
okay,
dude.
I'm not a pastor, but you teach the Bible, right? I don't even teach the Bible. So
This is why white people can't be expected to do anything about this, okay? White people are white anti-racists are such cucks when it comes to black people. They'll do anything a black person tells them. Every conservative trope is correct. Every single one of them. I will repeat every conservative talking point from a leftist perspective on this issue. White anti-racists will just whatever. God.
what are you doing?
Against love. That's not
Follow the Ten Commandments. That's the place to
It's at
start, right?
3453. Fuck yeah, dude.
I mean,
What up, man? Throw up in the lake. Hey, hold up. What happened to real humility? Hey, you already did it. What's the hurt? This ain't gonna hurt nothing. You already did. Hey, one more after that. Double war. Come on, man. One more after that, man. You already done. I don't know why you even got up, man. We got to. This is real humility. Is it me or is it the Bible?
Right? Look, you said you got the compassion, right? Hold on before you do that. All right. You said you got the compassion. Oh, Brick, next. Come on. Next. Come on, Marcus. Hallelujah.
Bend over and spread them. Yeah, why not just get him to suck your dicks? Like, what do you even get for having your boot kissed? Like, just fucking run a train on him in an alleyway or something. Absolutely cucked, yeah. One of the best parts of being like a white guy whose jobs is politics is that if I ever encountered fucking Black Hebrew Israelites, I'm ready to take advantage of their naivete. They would see me and they would think, a white boy who's wearing glasses and has a beard. I bet he feels guilty for his people's participation in slavery. And meanwhile, like the moment I realize they're Black Hebrew Israelites, I'm preparing like the 7,000 extremely racist retorts. Oh, of course not. You shouldn't Shouldn't be racist to black Hebrew Israelites. That's not how that works. You can be very mean to them though. That's fine. Just just don't be racist. Yeah, you can be mean though. Scroll down to see if it's white racist or black racist in the comments. It looks like it's a mix. Can I be anti-Semitic towards them? No. Also, they're not really Jewish, so like it wouldn't even, because if you were anti-Semitic towards them, they'd be like, yeah, those fake Jews. Like, yeah, I don't think it would really work, you know? You can't out-anti-Semitic them. They're very anti-Semitic. As a Jewish person, if a black Hebrew Israelite calls me the K-slur, can I call them the N-word? No, you can't call them the N-word. That's not allowed. Okay? The best, honest to God, the best thing that you can do if ever you are presented with this very unlikely situation, okay, is, man, there's nothing fucking funnier than mocking people who think they're inherently better than other people when they're part of disadvantaged socioeconomic groups. Hey, how's being the chosen people working out for you? You know, the, God keeping your household income average pretty fucking low, huh? That's just racism, isn't it? I don't actually think that's inherently racist. I think it's contextually racist. You have to make it contextually anti-racist, okay? Like, for example, if you were like, you know, maybe if you were less focused on innate racial supremacy and more on actual, like, socioeconomic problems, then we could live as brothers, but instead you're obsessed with trying to one-up people who are part of the racial group that, like, 400 years ago and continue to, in large part because of people who think what you think, except in the opposite direction. You can just deploy the rock. Let's spend more time with my majority white stream audience, imagining scenarios where we get to be mean to black people. In this incredibly contrived and unlikely scenario that will probably never happen to like the vast majority of people here. If you don't live in New York, the odds of you encountering a black Hebrew Israelite are pretty vanishingly low. What do black Israelites think of gay people? Not good things.